want and those who wish they could.
Good morning, everyone. We could do better than that. Good morning. Thank you. We're in the Bronx. I know you're louder than that. I am so happy to be here today at DeWitt Clinton High School alongside our Mayor, Eric Adams. We are also joined by our Chief Technology Officer of OTI, Matthew Fraser, Chief Marketing Officer of T-Mobile, Mo Kataba, our partners at Dell, and Yankees player Jazz Chisholm, and of course, dear friends, Superintendent Marcel Deans and Principal Pierre Orbe. Today marks another incredible stride in supporting our children and communities, creating equity for our students and bridging the digital divide. I'd like to thank all our partners who have made this a success, many of whom you'll hear from today. And let's give a big round of applause for our students who are standing behind us today. And now I'd like to introduce our mayor, Mayor Eric Adams, for today's announcement.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Chancellor, right here from the Bronx, has a child in public school, and really when you think about it, what she has done as her time as Chancellor has been remarkable with some of the announcements that we have been making. Back during 2021, when I was campaigning to run for office, prior to that, we were impacted by COVID. And I was in many parts of the city, particularly NYCHA, knocking on doors, handing out PPEs and face masks. And when I was speaking to the residents there, many of our children were learning remotely. Many of you were learning remotely. And mothers had to do what was called telemedicine. It was new to the city for the most part. And as I went from floor to floor, building to building, I realized that many of our scholars did not have access to high-speed broadband and were unable to go online. We were telling them to go online, but they did not have devices and they did not have access to high-speed broadband. And I just took notes as I moved throughout the city. And it was clear to me we had a city where resources were plentiful and we had a city where resources were lacking. And it was ignored. And we made clear when we came into office, we were going to dismantle each area where we saw the lack of resources in general, but specifically around access to technology. And one of the most important things we did was to assemble a team that understood that. And that was the first person of color to be the Chief Technology Officer in Matt Fraser. And what Matt did, what our Chief Technology Officer did was remarkable. There was many layers to his accomplishment. First thing he did was free, high-speed broadband internet service to all NYCHA residents in the city. And now we're expanding it to other low-income housing residents as well. But now we're moving to the next phase, because it must be a holistic approach to doing this. And as we have a star Yankee player here, we also knew you have to build the right team. And we did it by bringing on and partnering with T-Mobile. And we want to thank T-Mobile for what they are doing, but also you needed a real leader of that team to bring this package together. And we did it with not only my Chief of Staff, Camille Joseph Valla, but also the amazing First Deputy Mayor, Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro, who brought this home and made it happen. And so we want to thank our Chancellor for what she's doing to prepare our scholars for the future. And you can't do it without access to reliable technology and high-speed internet. It is a crucial part of this component. And right now, too many of our students don't have it. They don't have access to it. The whole thought of being able to have a Chromebook or iPad is just not realistic when you're dealing in tough economic times. But we knew we could make it happen if we brought the right partners together. And we cannot allow that access to be lacking in our classrooms. It limits not only how you have your creative energy, but it limits opportunities outside of our classroom. But anything is possible when you believe in people, when you believe in young people, and you believe in families. And so this school year, we are powering up education in our city. And since you all know that Stan Lee went to this high school and went to create legendary superheroes, so today we are unveiling our new superhero, and we like to call him Chromebook Man. It is superpower. It is bridging the digital divide with a simple flick of a thumbs up. So today, as our first act, we are announcing that we will be providing 350,000 New York City public school students with brand new personal computers with LTE access. Each student will have access to the internet. And as part of our continuing efforts to ensure their academic success and bridge the digital divide, and because we know that too many families are still struggling with the cost of living and cannot always afford new internet-enabled devices, we're providing these devices to students for free. Think about that for a moment. 350,000, you could applaud to that. 350,000 students in 1,700 schools will receive Chromebooks with 5G internet access and optimized educational programs for free. That's 350,000 future writers, teachers, mathematicians in the making, 350,000 Jane Baldwins, Shirley Chisholms, and other great leaders are preparing to use these devices to access the unlimited supply of information that is on our internet now. These are future mayors, future congressmen, future leaders, future presidents. And because 350,000 students will soon possess the essential tools necessary to succeed in today's digital learning environment, this is a monumental investment in our young people's potential and working class families of our city. And our proactive data-driven rollout strategy is closing the gap in device access across all public school systems. We're using data to ensure that the Chromebooks are distributed in areas where the need is the greatest. We're going to focus on the locations where the needs are the greatest, so that students are able to continue their learning, take advantage of remote opportunities, and apply for jobs in colleges. So let's keep this in mind. We may have taken away cell phones during the day, but you got Chromebooks for the entire day. And by providing students with keyboard-enabled devices crucial for writing, researching, and completing assignments, we are replacing outdated equipment that no longer meets current instructional and security standards. And just really want to credit the team that made this happen. As I indicated, CTO Matt Fraser, our Chancellor, Melissa Aviles-Ramos, First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro, Chief of Staff Camille Joseph Fallock, and the entire team. They are ensuring that the nation's largest school district remains ahead of the curve. And we cannot thank T-Mobile enough. New York City announced an agreement with T-Mobile to become a major wireless carrier to support city operations. And this agreement did not only save taxpayers millions of dollars in their phone bills on city-issued devices, it ensured we could pay for these devices that students have high-speed internet regardless of where they live. Our success could no longer be determined by the zip code we're from. It must be determined by you are a New York City resident, period. And so I want to thank all of our partners. This initiative is crucial as we continue to strive for a stronger, fairer, and more affordable city. At a time when the world's information is just a click away, we cannot wait any longer to expand access to this technology, and that is what we're doing every day. The right team, the right partnership, making it happen for our New Yorkers. We will equip them with the skills they need to succeed, and we're working to build a better future. Now you get a free device, and we are going to make sure that device is handed out appropriately. We want to first turn it over to back to our Chancellor, and she would give her comments. Chancellor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. And as always, it is a pleasure to be a part of a team that prioritizes children and families. And so now it is my honor to invite the Chief Technology Officer of OCI, Matthew Fraser, to say a couple of words.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna try it like the Chancellor did. Good morning, everyone. Hey. So the reason why we're here today and the reason why we're getting together isn't just about tablets and connectivity. When I think of moments like this and I take a look at the opportunity that we have and the power that we have, I'm reminiscent of something that my late Uncle Ben told me. He said, with great power comes great responsibility. That's Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, and because we're in the House of Stanley, I figured we would say that. But that's a true statement. What we're talking about here is the great equalizer. When you look at education and what it means to so many in the city, when you come into a space where you may not have the economic means to have the best clothes, to have the best toys, the best cars, the best tools, one of the things that can get you out of that systemic cycle of poverty is access to education. And day by day, year by year, as time progresses, technology becomes the underpinning of how education is delivered. When I went to school, back in my day, one of the things that they used to do was teach every student on how to get a library card and how to go to the library to get information. It was a critical part of how we got information to do research and to do homeworks. Now you look at the modern age, the way that most students do research, the way that most students get information is through technology, through a digital age. And it's a shame that we have so many people that go home and they don't have access to internet at home. So the connectivity that we're providing today, the devices that we're providing today, is a lifeline for the future writers, for the future leaders of the city, for the future leaders of the world, those that are interested in taking their academic career forward and changing the world in a magnificent way. This gives them the pathway to do that. But none of this would be possible without strong partners. So I'd like to thank our partners at T-Mobile, our partners at Dell, and our partners within the city, because without us as a collective, it wouldn't happen. And I'd also like to thank Jazz Chisholm from the Yankees for showing up to show support for a great program like this. In addition to education, sports is a pathway out to the future, so that having one of our leaders of one of the New York sports teams here supporting us is also a big thing for us as well. But I'd like to thank you all for showing up today, and I'm excited to see how these devices will reach out and how these devices will change the shape of New York City and the world forever. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce Mo, who's the Chief Marketing Officer for T-Mobile.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? What an incredible announcement, incredible morning. Thank you for letting us be here and be a part of it. What the city is doing here today isn't just a technology upgrade. It's a leap forward in equity, in education, and in opportunity. Because when you unlock reliable mobile-first connectivity for 350,000 students, you're not just connecting devices, you're powering generational potential at massive scale. As the mayor mentioned, T-Mobile is incredibly proud to have been awarded a landmark connectivity deal by New York City earlier this year, becoming the major wireless provider supporting city operations. And from the beginning, this partnership was more than being just about connectivity. It was about making sure city employees, including first responders, had access to cutting-edge technology and the reliable service that they need. Today, we're taking that even further. It's time for a break. Bringing 350,000 students into the equation. 350,000 students that are now going to have the tools to learn, to explore, and reach their full potential. And we couldn't be more excited to help the students close their digital divide along with the city. This is something that's deeply personal for us at T-Mobile, and not just here in New York. Why? Because the challenge is real and it's growing. In fact, there was a recent survey, and what we found was that nearly 1 in 4 parents are cutting back on essentials like food or utilities in order to be able to afford internet access for themselves and their children. And it's just heartbreaking, and it's completely unacceptable. And it's why this initiative matters so much, and why I think it's a beacon for the rest of the country. It's not just another program, it's something that will have an immediate, tangible difference in the lives of every New Yorker. And for students specifically, it's a game changer. Think about it. Cellular connectivity is more pervasive than Wi-Fi, period. It means that a student can simply open their new laptop and connect from virtually anywhere to get their work done. It doesn't matter where they live. It doesn't matter what their after-school situation looks like. It doesn't matter where their activities take them. With connectivity on the nation's best mobile network, they can log in on their way to school, at home, or even from a park bench or anywhere in between. It's that kind of access that changes everything. It removes friction, it drives inclusion, and it levels the playing field in a way that fixed solutions never could. We're proud to be serving and supporting New York City today, not just as a technology partner, but as a force multiplier for student success. Because this isn't about megabytes or modems, it's about what's possible when every single student in every borough gets a fair shot at the future. Thank you. And with that, I will hand it off to Mr. June, one of the local students.
Hello, my name is William June. I'm a senior and I'm a youth leader. I'm here to just praise this wonderful opportunity we've been given and give thanks from the student body. Bringing personal laptops to our school isn't just about keeping up with technology. It's about giving every student a real shot at success. With these laptops to take home, learning doesn't just stop when the bell rings. Homework, research projects, all of it becomes more accessible. And let's be real, typing an essay on a laptop is a lot faster than trying to type it fast on a phone. For teachers, it opens the door to more creative lessons. For students, it means building real-world digital skills while also learning responsibility. After all, if you can take care of a laptop every day, you're practicing the same accountability expected in a college or workplace environment. Most importantly, this program levels the playing field for everyone. Not every student has access to reliable tech at home, and now no one gets left behind. Laptops don't just upgrade our classrooms, they upgrade opportunities, they upgrade futures, and if we're being real, they make homework just a little less painful. Thank you for the opportunity, and I wish everyone a wonderful day.
Well, we're going to do some on topics on this. Marsha, how are you?
An event like this, the use of the power of incumbency is something that will help you in your campaign to get reelected, and what kind of a message it sends to the people who wanted you to drop out?
Next question.
Come on, Mr. Mayor. This is the power of incumbency. Will it help you?
Next question, Marsha. Come on, I know you got more questions in there that's more suitable to the great things we're doing today.
Mayor, and the Chancellor as well, you're talking about technology today. Do you think the cell phone bell-to-bell ban is working so far? And the Mayor, you brought this up. We may have taken your phones away, but we're giving you this high-tech grid out there. We're hearing some buzz that some kids are trying to get around the cell phone ban, use a burner phone, drop something else in the bag. I'm wondering, Chancellor, if you've heard about that and how it's going so far.
And the Chancellor could talk about it, but if children or young people or young scholars are trying to get around, this is all part of their creative spirit and energy. We did it. Let's not act like when we were in school, we didn't have all our little tricks on how we got around things. This is all a part of creativity. We have to match their creativity. We're making sure the rules are followed. But I love how adults all of a sudden have selective amnesia on the things they did when they were young people. I know the things I did. And so, this is all make us creative, and we're going to remain our creativity to make sure the cell phone ban stays in place. So, Chancellor?
I don't know what you could say after that. But what I will say is that as a mother and a former high school teacher and principal, I've seen a lot, and what I know is to always expect young people to try to work around us. Am I right, young people? You're always going to find a way. So this is why open dialogue with students is so important, and hearing how they feel about the implementation and how they feel about the guardrails and that they feel respected. And I want to make it clear, this is a law. We have to be compliant. Right? But in our compliance, that doesn't mean that we have to be negligent in our connection with young people. And what we're doing here today, what the mayor pushed for, is our centering of technology and forward-thinking classrooms. So while we are creating distraction-free zones, we talk a lot about banning cell phones, but let's be clear. This is about creating distraction-free zones where instruction, appropriate school-based technology, is a tool that we are using to forward innovation and creativity for our young people.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
Kelly, how are you?
Good. I have on-topic questions for you.
Okay,
for
I'm
now.
glad you do, but we're doing on-topic.
I wanted to know...
Do you have an on-topic?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to know how the students are going to be chosen, or the schools, and, is this a permanent program? Is this temporary? How will it look for the future?
Such a great question. So we actually are working in phases to make sure that the students who need these devices the most are getting them fastest. We're committing to completing the distribution of these devices across the school year. So by the end of this school year, every single student will have received a device. But we are starting with one-to-one device coverage, or devices that are older than 5 years. So if a school has devices that are older than 5 years, they don't have the one-to-one devices, those schools will get access to these devices first. Our second priority is students in temporary housing, because we want to make sure that those students have everything that they need. As the mayor described what it looked like in COVID, we want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Priority 3 is our high poverty schools without devices, and the way that we define high poverty is a poverty rate of 86% and above. And right after that, priority 4 is our new schools and schools that have submitted appeals for additional devices. So this really, when we talk about equity, this really ensured that we were putting devices in the hands of the young people who need it the most.
Long-term, will it be a long-term project?
So yes, it is over 4 years. The young people do keep their devices with them until they graduate, so that's the nice thing. And should a device be misplaced, or if it is broken, then we will work with the school to make sure that the devices are replaced.
Hold on, we can't have a star player here without saying a few words. A sports figure, a player, an athlete, and when you talk about coming to the plate, striking out, and coming back and going back at bat, never surrender, never giving up, never worrying about those who are in the bleachers, who boo you, who yell at you, who call you names, who want to see you fail. You got to get back up. You have to always remember there's another at-bat, there's another game, there's a ring waiting for you. And so, as I tell people all the time, let your haters be your waiters when you sit down at the table of success. And so here we have a star athlete. Please come and say a few words.
How we doing, y'all? Sorry, I'm still trying to wake up a little bit. It's early for me. But nah, I just think it's great. You know, I've been in New York for 2 years now, and this is like the 7th school I visited, and this is the 7th time we're doing this. So I love giving back. I love giving back to the community because this reminds me of where I grew up, and just to see a young kid like you come up here and be brave enough to speak in front of a lot of people. You know, I don't know how many times you've done it, but you see like the love that your family and your friends give you. You know what I mean? You feel it, and we all are here for all of y'all. So at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be here, and thank you guys for having me.
Okay, thank you.